Good morning, YouTube. This is Riding with Rick. Alright, today I am headed up to Waggoneers Gap, Pennsylvania. There's a tip from Moto Mengi, who recently put out a little video on that little visit. So I figured I'd do a little old-fashioned moto vlog while I'm on my way up there. Maybe take a couple pictures while I'm up there, maybe do some filming, and I'm going to talk a little bit today about what it's like being on the Mustang Seat I guess I got about 3,000 miles on it now, and talk a little bit about my new gloves. So let's get going. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about are these new Aerostich gloves I got. I don't know if you can see these or not. Deerskin lined gloves. They're short cuff, and oh man, these things are really nice. They don't really offer any kind of protection that a normal motorcycle glove would offer. But for fall riding, like I could just already tell that I could probably go pretty deep into the season temperature-wise with these gloves. I don't have my heated grips on, and these things you don't get any wind on them. And they're very supple. Like let me just say about Aerostich, I really like their stuff. It's not really like, the Revzilla or big box store cycle gear experience. Like, their website is atrocious. But if you do a little hunting and pecking on their website, and you buy something from their stuff, it's really nice stuff. These gloves were $57. They fit very well. They actually have quarter sizing in these gloves. Not just half sizing, but quarter sizing, so you can really get a custom fit. Like I said, $57. I highly recommend them. It's my first pair of deerskin gloves. I've seen a lot of gold wingers out there riding with these kind of gloves, and I always thought now just pretty plain and simple. They got a little windshield wiper thing on the thumb, if you're wearing a full face. And they fit very well. I highly recommend them. My hands are, I don't feel the wind on my hands on this Gold Wing one bit. Alright, the next thing I want to talk about is the Mustang Seat. I've been getting a number of comments on my video that I did of a review of this seat and the passenger backrest. I figured it appropriate to talk about my experience after, I don't know, I put this seat on around 8,000 miles on the motorcycle, and I've got 11,500 miles on the bike now, so like around 3,500 miles. I really like the seat. Let me just preface this by saying that, when you go and buy a aftermarket, third party, whatever you want to call it, seat, something other than the OEM, or if you go to upgrade the OEM seat through like you get a wing soft upgrade, or take another route where somebody's actually modifying your seat, the seat pan, to put their seat on there. It's a big endeavor, and it's a lot of money. The first question that you get when you own an aftermarket seat is somebody else asking, how do you like it? But it's very subjective, because there's no one seat that's good for everybody. I mean, I know people, that, myself included, that have owned Corbin seats that are extremely expensive, that I couldn't stand it, after a while. It just wasn't for me. The Mustang Seat, let me just say this, is that it is not a soft seat. Like, there's some seats out there that I think this is from my perspective. a soft seat kind of loses you after putting, like, initially it feels very good. You know, you're like, oh, this is real cushy. But in the long haul, when you're riding a lot of miles, if the seat doesn't offer any more support because it's too soft or your suspension's too soft, you're going to want to get off the bike. So me personally, I prefer a firmer seat. Now, I don't like a seat that's so firm, like a Corbin, that they take forever to break in, and then when they do break in, you're just like, you're kind of left with, you ride the long haul and you feel that you got like too much, you're riding on your springs. The Mustang kind of split the difference for me, where it's very supportive, but in the long mileage run that I've been doing lately, yeah, I still get off the bike and I know that I've ridden a motorcycle for 400 miles, but I'm not dying. I just couldn't do that on the stock seat, or I couldn't do it with the Wingsoft upgrade. No way. It has struck this kind of medium ground where it's firm, but yet it's still supportive at the end of the ride. And it's not so much that it's uncomfortable to sit on. The one thing that I couldn't review was how the onboard heat works with the Mustang seat, and it is so much. They really put a good heating element in it. I started this ride out today. It's 57 degrees on the thermometer. I cranked the seat up all the way to its max, and within 10 minutes, I knew I was sitting on a hot iron. So I turned it down. I've got it on 1 bar right now. It's perfect. So that's not my experience with the OEM seat or even the OEM seat with the Wingsoft upgrade. I had to have the heater cranked up pretty high to get anything out of it. Not on the Mustang. It's very sensitive to the heat, the onboard heat. Like I said, I'm on 1. And I might turn it off like towards the end of the day here. It's really not a seat heat kind of day, but if you got it, you might as well use it. So the other thing, that the passenger backrest, the jury's still out on that. My girlfriend's still kind of bitching about it. Sits her up a little bit higher than the stock passenger portion seat. That she doesn't like sitting up high. She kind of likes sitting a little as much behind me as possible, just because of wind and stuff. She just hasn't put enough seat time in it. With the armrests, she did initially complain that her arms were up way too high, and then she feels as if she doesn't have any place to put her arms. But I've noticed that the last couple times that she's actually ridden on the seat, those complaints, they didn't materialize out of her mouth. So, it takes her a little time, just like anybody else, to get used to things. She, just like me, is not a big, we don't like change. But anyway, so if anybody cares where I'm at, I'm on Pennsylvania 183 coming out of Burnville, and I'm westbound. I'm headed to the interstate to get to the promised land of Waggoneers Gap. We're going to do a little motorcycling up there today. But back to the seat. I really like it, and I understand that, the reason why I put out the review of the seat is because I know that it's a you're plunking down $1,000 or more for an aftermarket seat, spend all that money, and then, still end up in the same boat that you were before. And I also noticed, too, that I shoot from the hip. I call it like it is. If this Mustang seat, if I didn't like it, I would tell you. I mean, I could suck in my pride and tell you that I spent $1,000 needlessly. But I do really like it. It's and when I talk about mileage, like how I ride, I find generally in and around a 300-mile ride for the day is about enough for me, because there's many factors into like how far you can ride. Like I've heard guys, oh, I ride like 500 miles. Yeah, they're riding 500 miles like on pristine interstate. You come ride the roads in Pennsylvania, the back roads that I ride, and for me anyway, 300 miles is about it. Now, recently I've done some 400 milers, and it's not like I get on this seat and just ride the complete 400 miles, never having to get off. That's a fallacy. I'll take my breaks, but I've noticed that I can ride further without. At the end of that 400 miles, I'm hurting. Like, I want to get off the bike. Like, my knees hurt. My back will. Actually, my back really doesn't, but hurt. But my ass will hurt. Just being sitting in a seat for 400 miles. Like, I just do that in a car and I'm sore. But I found that I can actually ride further, and going out for, I'll get up early in the morning and I'll plan a route to upstate Pennsylvania, which I really, on my past motorcycles with their seats and this bike with its OE, I wouldn't really dream of doing that. So it has been it's been a very good purchase, and I'm very happy with it. And the fit and finish of the seat is top notch. They recommended some kind of like I think it's called Protect-All, and I bought a bottle of that just to put some kind of conditioner on it. I haven't had it in the rain. I haven't really put it through its paces long haul, but 3,500 miles, I think I can make a pretty good give a pretty good opinion on how it is. It has broken in a little bit. I'm getting more and more used to it, but are there better seats out there for other people? I'm sure there are, and I think anything's better than the stock seat. That's my personal opinion, but I think that's really all I got to say about the seat. Okay, folks, I'm on the home stretch here, and I just want to thank everybody for watching, and I'll see you later.